Howdy Internet. This video is going to describe some of the symptoms that I had with my gas furnace, specifically related to the Honeywell SmartValve. That's a SV9520H model. And the valve's been replaced now, but I've got the old one. I'm going to take it apart and show you what may be the problem. So if you're having the same symptoms, maybe it'll help you. Gas furnace last heating season was being a little bit intermittent as opposed to solid on when it would bring the inducer blower motor going. Sometimes it would come on and run for a little bit and then shut off. Sometimes it would run for a while. Everything was okay, and then sometimes it wouldn't come on at all. And typically the smart valve, which is this buddy right here, this one's working. It's got the heartbeat going on. You can see the LED. Anyway, it was blinking, and then this season nothing happened at all. I turned the power on to the furnace, and the sequence of operations is supposed to check that the pressure switch right down there is open, which it was at the time because they're normally open, and then apply power to the inducer blower motor. But I was only getting like 5 volts at the inducer motor, and I verified that the inducer motor was good. But it would just blink 3 times in the little LED on the smart valve, which indicated that the pressure switch was supposed to be closed, but it was open. And what that means is that the inducer motor wasn't running, so therefore there was no vacuum going on, which means that that pressure switch is not going to close. So there was something wrong with the inducer motor not being powered up. And I did some more troubleshooting and figured out that the lines, which are here on this little C3 connector, it's hard to see, but the one down at the bottom, the squarish one over on the left there, there's 120 volts going in AC, and then when it wants to power the inducer blower motor, there's 120 volts going to the inducer blower motor, but I was getting like 4 or 5 or 6. So anyway, nothing was happening. I checked the inducer motor and determined through all that it was a smart valve, since I was getting voltage into the switch, the valve, and I wasn't getting anything out of it when it was supposed to be doing the powering up of the inducer motor. So I'm going to take you, this one's good, this one's a replacement, just got it replaced, and now I'm going to take you over to the other one, which is the old one right here. This is the old one. Again, it's the same one, SV9520H 8042. And now if you're afraid of taking this apart, I was, because I was not sure whether there are any wires or other connections holding that cover on. But all you got to do is do some Torx T15 with the tamper resistant ones. So they got a hole in the middle of the shaft that you're on your device, that your tool that you're pulling it out with. You pull out 2 screws, one over there, and voila, this thing just lifts off. Now I have not tried to fix this one, but the one thing that I really noticed was that everything looked good, including the relays. In other words, I didn't see any burn marks or anything that looked like the relays had failed, if they're even involved in powering the inducer motor. But what I did notice, maybe you can see this. See that? That's a resistor right there. And that little umbrella hook thing coming up is the lead of the resistor, similar to the ones over here on the board, but it broke. So I've not tried to fix it yet, but if you're getting 3 flashes and you've determined through troubleshooting that the inducer motor is good, which you'll have to hook up a jumper and plug it into the wall to see and test that maybe. So be careful. But if you're not getting power to the inducer motor, but you're getting power into the smart valve, and it's not bringing it up, and it's flashing 3 on, and the switch is on, make sure your Honeywell switch is on, because if it's off, it'll also do 3. So if you have it off, it's going to give you the same symptoms, because it's not going to do anything, but it's going to flash 3. Maybe check that. If you find that, maybe try to fix it and see if it works. My guess is you might be able to do all this with the valve still installed, if you're comfortable doing that. I did not feel comfortable doing that, so I had an HVAC guy swap it out with a new one, and only did all this post-mortem. So good luck, and hope that helps.